There are moments in life when you meet someone who feels unlike anyone you've ever known. The connection is immediate, magnetic, and almost otherworldly. You feel pulled toward them with a force that defies reason. Your mind can't explain it, yet your heart insists that this bond carries a deeper meaning. But as time goes on, confusion begins to set in. They draw close only to withdraw, love deeply only to disappear, leaving you questioning what this connection truly is. Many find themselves wondering, are they my twin flame? Or are they just avoidant? It's an important distinction because both connections can feel equally intense at first glance. Both stir emotions you didn't know existed, both mirror your deepest fears, and both can leave you transformed. Yet one expands your soul while the other drains your energy. Understanding the difference is essential, not only to find peace in the connection, but also to reclaim your power and continue your soul's journey with clarity. Let's explore the truth behind these experiences and uncover how to tell whether the bond you're in is divinely orchestrated or emotionally mismatched. A twin flame connection is not like an ordinary relationship. It's a soul recognition that goes beyond physical attraction or emotional chemistry. When you meet your twin flame, there's an instant familiarity, as though you've known each other across lifetimes. Their presence awakens something deep within you, stirring emotions and insights that can't be explained through logic alone. The reason this connection feels so profound is that twin flames share the same energetic essence. They are two parts of the same consciousness, separated only to experience growth individually before coming back together. When they reunite, their meeting sets off a powerful process of transformation. The purpose isn't simply to be together, it's to awaken and evolve. What makes this connection so unique is its spiritual mirror effect. Your twin flame doesn't just love you, they reflect you. They mirror your strengths, insecurities, fears, and unhealed wounds. Every interaction with them brings you face to face with yourself. When they withdraw, it's not always rejection. It's a spiritual pause that gives both of you space to heal and align. This journey is rarely smooth because true soul growth never is. Twin flames often experience separation phases that push them to look inward. It's during these periods that you're guided to release attachment, control, and fear. As painful as it feels, this process teaches you unconditional love. Love without possession or expectation. The beauty of the twin flame bond lies in its divine purpose. It doesn't drain you to the point of emptiness. It strips you of illusion so you can find fullness within. The love remains even when contact fades because it was never meant to be owned. It was meant to awaken. Avoidant attachment, though it can look similar on the surface, operates on a completely different energy. It's rooted not in divine union, but in fear of intimacy. People with avoidant tendencies often crave love, but find emotional closeness overwhelming. Their instinct, learned from past pain or conditioning, is to retreat whenever vulnerability feels too intense. At first, an avoidant connection can feel magical. They may appear deeply interested, open, and emotionally engaged. But as soon as things become real, when deeper intimacy and consistency are needed, they pull away. They may go silent without warning, create emotional distance, or act indifferent when confronted about their feelings. If you're someone who's more open or emotionally expressive, this behavior can feel devastating. It mirrors the emotional wounds you may have carried from childhood, feelings of abandonment, rejection, or not being enough. That's why an avoidant connection can feel so addictive. You're not only trying to reach them, you're subconsciously trying to heal the part of yourself that still believes love must be earned. Unlike a twin flame connection, where separation serves spiritual growth, avoidant distance keeps you stuck in a cycle of longing and self-doubt. You start questioning your worth, trying harder to gain their affection, or analyzing every message for meaning. The emotional energy becomes one-sided. You give, they retreat. You wait, they hide. Avoidant dynamics may mirror wounds that need healing, but they don't mirror your soul. The lesson here isn't about reunion. It's about learning to stop chasing unavailable love. It's about understanding that emotional avoidance from another person often points to emotional neglect within yourself. The reason twin flame and avoidant relationships can feel almost identical in the beginning is because both awaken powerful emotional energy. Both trigger deep-seated patterns of attachment and connection. You might feel the same rush of chemistry, stupefact the same pull, and even experience coincidences or synchronicities. However, similarity doesn't equal sameness. The main difference lies in the intention and direction of the connection. In an avoidant relationship, the energy spirals outward. It leads to confusion, anxiety, and self-doubt. You spend most of your time wondering how to make it work or how to keep them from leaving again. In a twin flame journey, the energy spirals inward. It leads you back to your own heart. Even through the pain, there's growth. Even in silence, there's a sense of higher purpose guiding it. Another key distinction lies in what happens after separation. When an avoidant partner withdraws, the distance is a form of emotional protection. They detach to avoid discomfort, not to heal. When a twin flame separates, the distance is a form of spiritual realignment. It's a sacred space for both of you to evolve individually so that your reunion, if and when it happens, can be based on higher consciousness rather than unhealed wounds. Ask yourself, does this connection inspire peace or chaos? Do you feel closer to your higher self or more anxious and insecure? The energy of truth will always guide you. Twin flame love expands. Avoidant attachment constricts. One opens your heart wider, the other makes you shrink to fit. Both twin flame and avoidant connections trigger you, but the purpose of those triggers differs entirely. In a twin flame bond, triggers are opportunities for healing. When your twin mirrors your wounds, it's not to hurt you, but to show you what still needs love within. If you fear abandonment, their silence might awaken that pain so you can finally address it instead of running from it. If you struggle with control, their distance may teach you surrender. Every trigger becomes a mirror leading you closer to emotional freedom. Healing through a twin flame connection feels uncomfortable, but it transforms you. You start recognizing patterns you've carried for years, people-pleasing, self-neglect, codependency, and you begin to release them. The more you heal, the lighter the energy between you becomes. Eventually, you reach a point where you love them without needing them to act a certain way. That's when the true essence of the connection unfolds. Avoidant triggers, on the other hand, tend to reinforce fear rather than dissolve it. Their inconsistency awakens your anxiety, but instead of pushing you to heal, it keeps you in emotional survival mode. You start reacting from desperation, not awareness. You find yourself seeking closure that never comes, trying to decode behavior that doesn't make sense, or holding on to hope that they'll finally change. When someone's presence constantly triggers pain without leading to growth, it's a sign that the connection is karmic, not divine. Growth doesn't require endless suffering. A soul connection will challenge you, yes, but it will also nurture you toward transformation. Communication reveals the truth of every connection. With a twin flame, even when words fail, the energetic bond remains alive. You might feel their emotions, think of them at random moments, or sense their presence during meditation or dreams. The connection transcends physical distance. When communication does happen, it often feels raw, sincere, and transformative. Conversations between twin flames are rarely shallow. They carry emotional depth and spiritual truth. In contrast, communication with an avoidant partner often feels like walking through fog. There's inconsistency, confusion, and emotional shutdown. You might pour your heart out only to be met with silence or minimal response. You sense that they care, but can't seem to reach that emotional depth with them. Over time, this inconsistency drains your energy and makes you question your worth. Silence in a twin flame dynamic is sacred. It teaches surrender and patience. Silence in an avoidant relationship is defensive. It creates emotional starvation. The former expands your faith, the latter erodes your confidence. Learning to read the energy behind silence is essential. When the connection is divinely guided, even in distance, you'll feel peace. You'll sense that the pause has meaning. But when it's avoidant energy, you'll feel restlessness and emptiness. You'll keep waiting for closure that never comes. Remember, real love doesn't confuse you. It may test you, but it doesn't leave you doubting your value. Twin flame communication may fade, but the connection keeps evolving. Avoidant communication fades, and the connection eventually collapses under emotional neglect. The core difference between these two dynamics lies in growth. A twin flame connection transforms you from the inside out. It's designed to awaken your consciousness, expand your capacity for love, and align you with your higher path. The connection asks you to surrender, not to weakness, but to faith. You learn to trust divine timing, to let go of control, and to focus on your inner healing rather than external circumstances. Even when you're apart, your soul begins to evolve. You start developing new habits, meditation, reflection, spiritual study. You feel drawn toward becoming the highest version of yourself. This growth naturally balances your energy, bringing peace where there once was turmoil. An avoidant relationship, however, doesn't foster the same transformation. Instead of growth, you feel stuck in repetition. You find yourself trapped in cycles of hope and disappointment. The connection may push you to learn boundaries and self-respect, which are valuable lessons, but it doesn't awaken you spiritually. It teaches survival, not transcendence. The twin flame journey demands surrender, while the avoidant dynamic demands detachment. The difference is subtle but profound. Surrender opens your heart to healing. Detachment closes it for protection. One elevates your spirit, the other merely safeguards your sanity. As you learn to surrender, you realize that true love never requires chasing or convincing. It flows when you're aligned with your own truth. That's when the universe brings everything meant for you back in perfect timing. Whether they are your twin flame or just avoidant, the ultimate lesson is the same: to return to yourself. The connection is not here to define your worth, it's here to reveal it. When you stop chasing answers and start focusing on your inner state, clarity emerges naturally. If they're a twin flame, your healing will draw them energetically closer because both souls mirror each other's evolution. If they're an avoidant, your healing will help you release them with peace because the lesson has been fulfilled. The sign of true love, divine love, is peace. It doesn't demand, manipulate, or confuse. It doesn't leave you begging for crumbs. It flows from authenticity, trust, and surrender. You'll know the connection is genuine when it brings you back home to your soul instead of pushing you further away from it. Sometimes the person you meet is both: a karmic catalyst who awakens your twin flame energy within yourself. They may not be your eternal counterpart, but their role in your journey is sacred nonetheless. Every connection has a purpose, and every heartbreak carries wisdom. When you reclaim your power, you realize that your happiness isn't tied to who stays or who leaves. It's tied to how deeply you choose to love yourself. And when you anchor in that self-love, the right connections, whether twin flame or soulmate, will always find their way to you effortlessly. So instead of asking, are they my twin flame or just avoidant? Ask, what is this connection teaching me about love? Because that question, more than any label, will set you free. In the end, every connection, no matter how painful or confusing, serves a higher purpose. Whether you've encountered your twin flame or an avoidant partner, both are mirrors reflecting your relationship with yourself. One awakens you to divine love, the other teaches you self-worth and boundaries. What truly matters is what you do with the lessons each brings. If the connection pulls you inward, helping you grow, forgive, and evolve, it has fulfilled its purpose. But if it keeps you stuck in doubt and self-abandonment, it's time to release it with grace. Love that is meant for you will never require you to chase. It will meet you in alignment, not anxiety. So trust your journey, honor your heart, and remember, the greatest union you'll ever experience is the one you build within yourself.